The Adam Smith Awards are recognised globally as the industry benchmark for best practice and innovation in corporate treasury. With this podcast series, we're going to take a deep dive into each of the winning solutions and hear from the creators who made it all happen.
Hello, I'm Sophie Jackson, Joint Publisher and Head of Strategic Content at the Treasury Today Group. Treasury Today Woman of the Year 2022. This category is open for any woman that operates in the corporate treasury environment, and our winner demonstrates real innovation and achievement and is someone who acts as an inspiration for others, leading the community and driving inclusion across the board. This celebrates female leadership at the top of corporations.
And our Treasury Today Woman of the Year for 2022 is Lisa Chan, Director of Global Treasury at Airbnb.
My name is Lisa Chan, and I am the Director of Global Treasury at Airbnb. So my career in Treasury started very young. I got an internship my sophomore year of college at a company that now I think it's called like Norton Anti-Lock or something, but it was previously Symantec. And I interned in their stock and treasury team. And then when I graduated from college, it was during the bubble burst of 2001. And so I came back home to California and took a role at Symantec with the same team, but not in treasury, which is what I really wanted. But I took a role in stock administration. Was there for 3 years. Took some time to dabble in consulting, quickly realized consulting was not something I wanted to do and really did want to go back into treasury. And luckily around that same time of that realization, my old treasurer at Symantec was expanding the team from a large acquisition. And so was able to go back to Symantec and had the fortunate opportunity to rotate amongst various groups within treasury. So over the years, on that team, I worked in operations, in systems, and then eventually in FX. Following Symantec, I took a role in operations at Salesforce. At the time, Salesforce Treasury was smaller, and so I got to wear a few extra hats and also help out in the FX department while they started to build out that team. I was there for 4 years, and then a great role at Airbnb opened up to be team member number one and build my own treasury team. And I couldn't say no to taking on that challenge. And I've been at Airbnb now for 8 years. I started out managing the global treasury function from an FX and operations perspective. And now, because both areas got so big and my passion really is operations, I am now focusing purely on global operations. For me, the advice that I give to people new into finance or treasury is to just be curious. I think you learn the most when you ask questions. If you approach a role where, you just open that bank account, move on, push that button to release that wire, move on. I firmly believe that the work is what you make of it. And so the people who really will succeed in treasury and really thrive in that area are the ones that ask the questions and the whys behind what they're doing and what business need is driving that specific task or ask. And I think if you want to get into treasury, it's a key skill to have. In treasury specifically, we work cross-functionally, probably more so than a lot of other teams. And so the other bit of advice is to really start building your peer network. And, you don't always need to know the answers. I don't think anybody expects you to know 100% of what's going on all the time. But what really helped me succeed in Airbnb, it was treasury, but it was a new type of treasury supporting a disruptor product. Not everything is as cut and dry. And it's really kudos to my network and being able to navigate who do I ask and to just get me to the right question. That was key. And so, that would be my advice, is to ask a lot of questions and build your network out. Diversity in treasury specifically, I think is a little bit more challenging probably than other areas. Treasury is a smaller function compared to, say, an accounting function or FP&A function, where the candidate pool is probably significantly larger than what we have in treasury. And so that can limit our opportunities for diversity. And so, I think for me, it's about getting the word out about Treasury. We're a pretty niche community, I think, but I always found that, going to college recruiting or doing any sort of internships or minority internships, it's hugely important. And a lot of times they never knew what Treasury was or existed. And, I'm hoping that continuing to do that and expand the knowledge of what Treasury does and why it's important and how it's such an integral part of finance is really important to kind of just on a baseline expand our candidate pool. And then I think specifically all of the diversity initiatives that are going on in corporates right now, in the corporate world right now, is just making everybody more aware of our biases and talking about it and having open conversations, which are great. It may make some of us right now feel uncomfortable, but future generations, it'll become just secondhand in the norm, which I'm very excited about. So I think that will help in terms of challenges with diversity. And lastly, and something that has definitely helped me in my hiring over the years is not to lean as much into pedigree as I think prior generations have done of like, oh, did you go to Harvard? Did you go to, this top tier school? I think that matters a lot less than will this person fit in the group? Do they have the ability? Are they hungry to learn? I think indexing more on that will definitely help you build out diversity on your team and build a stronger team, frankly. I have two defining moments of career success. The first one is a million years ago in Treasury. I had become very curious about the acquisition patterns of my company, Symantec, and I really wanted to get involved and learn more, but at the same time, still be exposed in Treasury. And I ended up having a very frank conversation with my boss about that. And I just said, I want to do this. And we ended up creating a role and changing my scope a little bit. And it allowed me to focus more on M&A integrations. And it allowed me to build up my project management muscle and work cross-functionally with more partners. And, I think that was pivotal for me because that's when I learned, you got to ask for what you want. You're not always going to be given it right off the bat. Managers only know what you tell them. If not, they may just put you on a path that they think you want to be on. And so that was really pivotal for me in terms of just realizing like, I got to ask for what I want, and it definitely really helped me just take my Treasury career to the next level because I was able to add in all of these other factors and exposures. The second area of career success for me is frankly getting this award. It's really not often that I take a moment to step back and reflect on my prior achievements. I'm one of those take the win and move on kind of gal. But getting this award, getting the nomination for it, it's forced me to step back and think about all of the major milestones that I've been able to be a part of here at Airbnb. I built a Treasury function from scratch. Now we're 12 strong. I helped steer the team through COVID, which was one of the most difficult times for Airbnb from both the morale perspective and the travel industry, and also from a cash perspective. And we got through it with flying colors. And, my team was able to build a scalable banking infrastructure to support all of our innovative payment solutions that are on our platform now. And I really, until this award, haven't really taken a time to pause and think about that. So I thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Our highly commended Woman of the Year.
And I'm very happy to announce that our highly commended Woman of the Year this year is Gina Bundy, General Manager at Microsoft.
Hi, I am Gina Bundy, General Manager on the Global Treasury and Financial Services team at Microsoft. I'm the winner of Woman of the Year, Highly Commended. When I think about when and why I embarked on a career in corporate treasury, it was really right after college. I worked at JP Morgan on a team called Treasury Services, which I found very interesting. I was early in career and exploring options. I knew I loved finance, but wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was pretty certain I didn't want to do a traditional FP&A or accounting role. And this role in Treasury Services was very interesting. Following that role, I worked at an insurance company called Safeco on their portfolio management side of the business, starting in investment operations and then moving to a role as a portfolio manager assistant for mortgage-backed securities. I think I knew at this time that a career in portfolio management wasn't necessarily my passion, but this is when I really knew I loved treasury operations and would aspire to a corporate treasury role. I started at Microsoft in 2005 as an analyst on the treasury operations team, specifically covering investment operations, so supporting trade confirmation and trade settlement for our investment and FX portfolios. This was a dynamic role managing operations of $130 billion investment and liquidity portfolio, learning a breadth of investment types, and working with an amazing team of people. One of my favorite things about Treasury was learning something new every single day. As I continued to grow in this role, I pushed myself to do new things, including eventually managing and expanding the team beyond investment operations to include cash operations and trade finance functions. I think the advice I would give to those thinking of a career in corporate treasury or finance is to try it. What I have loved about my career in finance, and specifically treasury, is the breadth and depth of the experiences I've had. In my career, I've constantly had the opportunity to learn and grow far beyond what some may traditionally think about finance and treasury careers. Things like understanding operations, cash management, trade and supply chain finance, credit and collections, opportunities to define solutions that support new field go-to-markets, enabling the digital transformation of customers by providing payment alternatives that they need, and of course, focus on compliance and financial reporting. Treasury is an integral team and decision maker for companies, and the exposure to these experiences are valuable skills you will use across your career. The other thing I love about this space is the empowerment to be innovative and to solve big challenges. Across my 17 years in Treasury, I've always been encouraged to take risks. At Microsoft, we have a focus to drive digital transformation within finance by reimagining how we bring together people, data, and processes. This focus, combined with partnering with thought leaders across the financial services landscape, can help achieve amazing things in the treasury industry. Being a trailblazer at times, that is what makes me most inspired and passionate about treasury. If I had to identify a defining moment in my career, I actually think there are a couple things that I'd mention. First, when I was new to treasury at Microsoft, I knew that I wanted to continue to learn more. At that time, we were just embarking on our Swift journey, and Treasury had just kicked off a project around our implementation of ISO 20022. I really knew nothing about Swift at the time, and I certainly wasn't an expert in payments or bank statements, particularly in the XML format. But I raised my hand to lead the project. This project was completely outside my comfort zone, and that was the most important reason for me to do it. I took a chance, and my leaders probably took a big chance on me as well. What it taught me was to be brave and to not fear big challenges. What I learned is when you feel uncomfortable, that is when you learn and grow. If you are afraid to fail, you aren't learning. Second, I'd add that after 12 years in Treasury, I was offered another role outside of Treasury on our financing team at Microsoft. This was a pivotal moment in my career. Again, taking a role I didn't know very well, and honestly fearing that I didn't have the necessary experience to be successful. At times, really feeling I had imposter syndrome, doubting myself and my abilities. What I found is that my treasury experience, I had really developed so many core skills that directly applied to my success in this new role. It was really the best thing I've done by taking on something new outside my comfort zone, learning new experiences, and building new networks and partnerships to deliver impact and success. I had sponsors and mentors that knew I could do it even when I wasn't sure of myself. I'm so grateful for them to push me to take on new challenges like this. Whenever I can, I pay this forward.
A huge congratulations to all our Adam Smith Award winners. And thank you for listening to this episode of our dedicated Adam Smith Awards podcast series, brought to you by the Treasury Today Group. More episodes will be coming soon, featuring other award winners. So please subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated.